In the dark realm of organised crime, few names strike fear into the hearts of law enforcement quite like that of Clement Bailili. Born and raised in the remote village of Lazarat, Albania, Bailili didn't just dip his toes in petty crimes, he dove headfirst into the treacherous waters of drug trafficking, arms smuggling, and human exploitation. A man whose very name sends shivers down the spines of those who dare to cross him, orchestrating a criminal empire with ruthless efficiency and an ironclad code of silence. But how did this once impoverished boy from Lazarat rise to become the Balkans' biggest drug lord? How did he navigate the murky waters of corruption and violence to claim his place at the helm of Albania's underworld? In the rugged countryside of Albania lies Lazarat, a village shrouded in secrecy and infamy. It was known for its picturesque landscapes or peaceful communities, but for something far darker. It was a haven for criminal activities. Nestled within the stunning Albanian countryside, Lazarat emerged as a major centre for cannabis production and smuggling. Its remote location and rugged terrain provided the ideal conditions for illicit activities to flourish. The fields of Lazarat were blanketed in a sea of green, where vast quantities of marijuana were cultivated, fueling the criminal enterprises that operated within its borders. Lazarat became synonymous with lawlessness, a place where organised crime reigned supreme and government forces struggled to maintain control. Born into poverty in Lazarat, Clement Bailili's childhood was a stark contrast to the idyllic images often associated with rural life. Instead of fields of flowers and carefree days, Bailili grew up surrounded by struggle and deprivation. Poverty was not just a condition, but a way of life for him and his family. But it wasn't just poverty that shaped Bailili's early years. It was the pervasive influence of organised crime in Lazarat that held an indelible mark on his upbringing. From a young age, he was exposed to the workings of the Albanian mafia, witnessing the power, violence, and allure it held over his community. Eventually, he became entwined within the Albanian mafia in the early 2000s. Despite the challenges of his upbringing, Bailili possessed a keen intellect and determination. Alas, he couldn't use those qualities for something good. Bailili recognized early on that survival in Lazarat meant embracing the world of organised crime. With resourcefulness and cunning beyond his years, he navigated the treacherous waters of the Albanian mafia, earning the trust and respect of his peers along the way. He quickly rose through the ranks, establishing himself as a trusted member of the criminal underworld. Bailili's path to becoming a key figure in the Albanian mafia was paved through involvement in various illicit activities, including drug trafficking and extortion. His shrewd business acumen and willingness to employ ruthless tactics quickly earned him a reputation as a formidable player in the criminal underworld. Bailili's ascent was not fueled by luck or chance, but by his strategic alliances and calculated maneuvers. By leveraging his connections and resources, Bailili established a sprawling drug empire, controlling a significant portion of the narcotics trade in the Balkans. His influence extended beyond Albania, reaching into neighbouring countries and even beyond, earning him comparisons to the infamous Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar. But then again, just like Escobar, Clement Bailili didn't settle for petty crimes. He had his sights set on something much bigger.
While hiding in plain sight in Dubai, the whales were the catch of the day. 6 high-value targets said to form a super cartel, responsible for a third of all the cocaine in Europe.
With Lazarat as his base of operations, Bailili quickly established his influence in a wide array of criminal enterprises. Drug trafficking, arms smuggling, and various other illicit activities became his bread and butter. He orchestrated the intricate web of drug trafficking, ensuring the smooth movement of narcotics across borders and into the hands of eager buyers. He would import containers of drugs from the port of Durrës, Albania, and the numbers weren't small. Bailili was known for bringing in 613 kilograms, approximately 1,351 pounds, of high-purity cocaine. But his ambitions didn't stop there. He was known to dabble in arms smuggling, providing weapons to fuel conflicts and expand his influence even further. Lazarat may have been where it all began, but Bailili had grander ambitions. He saw beyond the confines of the village and set his sights on expanding his empire far and wide. With his birthplace as a stronghold, Bailili infiltrated cities, ports and borders, spreading his influence like a virus. From bustling urban centres to remote coastal towns, his reach knew no bounds. He operated with impunity, using his connections and resources to penetrate even the most fortified defenses. In the late 2000s, Bailili made inroads into Italy, exploiting the country's extensive coastline and ports to smuggle drugs into Europe. By 2010, Bailili had established a foothold in Italy, using it as a gateway to penetrate deeper into the European market. Over the following years, his trafficking network expanded its reach, extending into Greece, Montenegro, Kosovo, Serbia, North Macedonia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Croatia. These countries served as crucial transit points for Bailili's narcotics, allowing him to evade law enforcement and distribute drugs across Europe. At the end of 2010, Bailili's empire stretched across Europe, with smuggling routes weaving through the continent like a tangled web. No city was too large, no port too fortified for his insatiable appetite for power and wealth. Bailili's reign was a blend of charisma, fear, and unbridled violence. He commanded respect not through diplomacy or negotiation, but through sheer force of will. Associates revered him, seeing him as a larger-than-life figure who could deliver both riches and retribution with equal measure. But for those who dared to cross him, Bailili's wrath was swift and merciless. Violence was not just a means to an end for Bailili, it was a language he spoke fluently. His enemies trembled at the mere mention of his name, knowing that to oppose him was to invite certain death. Bailili ruled with an iron fist, instilling fear in those who dared to challenge his authority. In the Albanian mafia, power was not given, it was taken, and Bailili took it with ruthless efficiency. But his associates weren't the only ones who knew Bailili's wrath. His name struck fear into the hearts of law enforcement agencies across Albania. As Bailili's influence spread beyond Albania's borders, so too did the pressure to capture him. Western allies, including the United States and European nations, were keenly aware of the threat Bailili posed to regional security. Recognizing the importance of dismantling his criminal empire, they pushed Albania's law enforcement agencies to prioritize his capture. But capturing Bailili was no easy task. His criminal activities gained widespread notoriety in May 2016, when Greece accused him of orchestrating a massive drug trafficking operation worth hundreds of millions of euros. His network smuggled tons of cannabis from Albania to Greece and Western Europe using fake transport companies. Despite being under investigation for drug trafficking, Bailili managed to secure a senior position at the Director of Transport Services in Saranda from 2014, until Greece issued a search warrant for his arrest. Law enforcement faced numerous challenges, from navigating the complexities of international cooperation to overcoming the entrenched networks of corruption that shielded Bailili from justice. Despite their best efforts, Bailili remained elusive, slipping through their fingers time and time again. Bailili's ability to evade capture was not solely due to luck or cunning, it was also aided by alleged political connections and support networks. However, not for long. As he continuously succeeded in evading the police, Operation Albanian Escobar was launched. It was a major law enforcement initiative targeting Clement Bailili's drug trafficking network, aimed at dismantling his illicit empire. Led by a joint task force comprising Albanian and Italian law enforcement agencies, the operation was launched in response to mounting evidence of Bailili's involvement in international drug trafficking. The operation commenced in early 2018, following months of surveillance and intelligence gathering efforts by authorities on both sides of the Adriatic Sea. The operation was spearheaded by seasoned investigators from Albania's Serious Crime Prosecution Office and Italy's Anti-Mafia Directorate, working in close collaboration to bring down Bailili's criminal enterprise. "We knew we were dealing with a highly organized and dangerous criminal network," remarked Chief Inspector Marco Kola, one of the lead investigators on the Albanian side. "Our goal was to disrupt their operations and apprehend those responsible for trafficking drugs into our countries." The primary target of Operation Albanian Escobar was to intercept a large shipment of coke destined for distribution throughout Europe. Intelligence indicated that the drugs were being smuggled into Albania via maritime routes, with the port of Durrës identified as a key entry point. Law enforcement agencies meticulously planned the operation, coordinating surveillance efforts and deploying undercover operatives. In a coordinated effort, authorities intercepted a container at the port of Durrës. In April 2018, suspected of containing a significant quantity of coke linked to Bailili's network. As officers moved in to seize the contraband, they were met with resistance from armed guards employed by Bailili's organization. A brief but intense exchange of gunfire ensued, resulting in the apprehension of several suspects and the seizure of a cache of firearms and ammunition. Despite the violent confrontation, law enforcement officers successfully secured the container, revealing more than 600 kilograms of high-purity coke concealed within. The seizure dealt a severe blow to Bailili's drug empire, disrupting its supply chain and dismantling key logistical networks. But the biggest achievement of the operation was arresting the Albanian Escobar. While many believe that the police apprehended him during the operation, the truth is that Bailili came forward during the shootout and surrendered to the police. And even after that, many believe that this may have been a power move to use to advantage himself later on. Along with Bailili, several high-ranking members of his organization were also arrested, including his top lieutenant and several armed guards, which brings us to his trial. Bailili faced a barrage of charges, including international drug trafficking, membership in a criminal organization, and failure to disclose his wealth while holding a senior public position in Saranda, Albania. Despite his denial of the accusations, the Court of Appeals for Serious Crimes in Tirana upheld the first instance ruling, affirming Bailili's guilt. The court sentenced him to 15 years in prison, although his request for a fast-track procedure shortened his effective sentence to 10 years. The Albanian authorities' failure to apprehend Bailili promptly drew criticism, including from former US Ambassador Donald Lu, who publicly chastised Prime Minister Edi Rama over the matter. It took nearly 3 years for the authorities to arrest Bailili, despite formal warrants issued by Greece and diplomatic pressure mounting on Albania, who knew after all this hard work it would be the man's own surrender that led to his arrest. Finally, in January of that year, Bailili was caught amid much public attention, with General Police Director R.D. Veliu personally overseeing the negotiation of his surrender. Bailili's trial shed light on the challenges Albania faces in combating organized crime and highlighted the need for more robust law enforcement efforts. The downfall of Clement Bailili sent shockwaves throughout the Albanian mafia and organized crime networks across the region. Bailili was not just a criminal, he was a symbol of power and authority within the underworld. His capture and conviction was seen as a significant blow to the criminal enterprises that had long plagued Albania and its neighboring countries. With Bailili out of the picture, rival factions jockeyed for position, vying to fill the power vacuum left in his wake. However, the impact of Bailili's downfall extended beyond the criminal underworld. It sent a clear message to would-be criminals that no one was untouchable, no matter how powerful or influential. The days of operating with impunity were over, and law enforcement agencies were emboldened to continue their crackdown on organized crime. Bailili's arrest marked a turning point for Lazarat, the once notorious village that had long been synonymous with crime and lawlessness. With Bailili behind bars, the government embarked on a comprehensive effort to rehabilitate the community and shed its tainted reputation. Lazarat underwent a transformation as efforts were made to dismantle the illegal cannabis plantations that had fueled Bailili's criminal empire. The government invested in infrastructure projects, education, and job training programs to provide alternative opportunities for Lazarat's residents. It was a long and arduous process, but slowly, Lazarat began to shed its dark past and embrace a brighter future. The transformation of the village served as a beacon of hope for other communities plagued by organized crime, showing that change was possible with determination and perseverance. Bailili's downfall served as a reminder that the battle for justice and safety in Albania was not lost yet. It highlighted the tireless efforts of law enforcement agencies and the resilience of communities affected by organized crime. But the fight was far from over. As long as criminals continue to operate with impunity, there will always be work to be done. Bailili's capture was a victory, but it was just one battle in a much larger war. The fight against organized crime would continue, fueled by the determination to build a safer, more just society for all. From his humble beginnings in the lawless village of Lazarat to his rise to power as one of Albania's most feared crime bosses, Bailili's story is one of ambition, violence, and ultimate downfall. The trial proceedings and subsequent conviction of Bailili for drug trafficking, membership in a criminal organization, and money laundering showcase the relentless pursuit of justice in the face of organized crime. As we reflect on the gripping tale of Clement Bailili and the broader issue of organized crime, we must recognize the importance of collective action in combating this pervasive threat. Organized crime knows no boundaries, and it thrives in the shadows of corruption and apathy. What are your thoughts on the Balkans' biggest drug lord? Let us know in the comments below. If you like our content, don't forget to check out our channel. We've got many more stories from the underworld to share with you.